Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelp boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, busting with the boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
Dana White was a quasi-permanent fixture on Donald Trump's campaign trail as he threw his full support behind the Republican candidate in his bid to seek re-election. The UFC president, who is close friends with the 78-year-old, has been such an ardent supporter that he even stole the limelight during Trump's victory celebrations at Mar-a-Lago after beating Kamala Harris at the ballot box. But now that Trump has sealed his return to the White House, the UFC chief wants nothing to do with the president-elect's second term, or politics at all. "I'm never doing this again," he told The New Yorker. "I want nothing to do with this. It's gross. It's disgusting. I want nothing to do with politics." It appears the GOP will not be able to rely on White for endorsement in the future, with his alliance extending to Trump, and Trump alone. With Trump's presidential campaign marking the first and last foray into politics for White, it is no real surprise that the 45th president is the sole recipient of White's political backing. White has been a longtime friend and ardent supporter of Trump, with the former president echoing the support in his backing of UFC over the years. Trump tapped the UFC president and CEO to speak for him at the last 3 Republican national conventions, before inviting him to the onstage victory party following this month's election triumph. White was invited to say a few words at the podium on the stage, and after some glowing praise for Trump, launched into what seemed to be a victory speech of his own. And the UFC president continued to praise Trump this week, hailing him as one of the toughest men he knows. "Donald Trump is tougher and more badass than anybody," White also told The New Yorker. "You can only pray that you're a quarter of the man that Donald Trump was, when a guy tried to take 7 shots at his head with a high-powered rifle with a fucking scope on it." And Trump has reciprocated White's support over the past few decades, publicly backing the UFC, even claiming to be its savior. Trump has regularly attended fight nights, most recently arriving cage-side at Madison Square Garden for UFC 309, with Elon Musk and White in tow last weekend. As the UFC has grown, there's been a lot of people that have jumped on the bandwagon and became fans, White said. "Trump was there from the beginning. Trump basked in his post-election glory at the UFC event, the first since his re-election, when American fighter John Jones appeared to dedicate his victory to the president-elect. Quote, "Jones emerged victorious in front of the president-elect at Madison Square Garden, where he got into the patriotic spirit after a knockout win over Stipe Miocic. Jones and Trump shook hands and capped a fight night charged with politics as much as punches inside a raucous MSG where USA chants echoed through the arena. A big thank you to President Donald Trump for being here tonight," Jones said inside the cage before presenting Trump with the belt and imitating the president-elect's now iconic arm shimmy dance. "I'm proud to be a great American champion. I'm proud to be a Christian American champion." After leaving the cage, the UFC heavyweight champion made his way over to where Trump was sitting with Musk and handed him his championship belt. Please share your thoughts on the comment. Do like, share, subscribe, and join us.